Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We liked our movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained as pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the feedback bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Tennis Podcast, your favorite podcast where two Sweetie sisters talk about movies that shaped their childhood. I'm Sweetie with an IE.
And I'm Sweetie with a Y.
This week, Sweetie with an IE's pick. And I decided to go with one that is like adjacent to the founding of this podcast. We founded this podcast, Large Marge Tennis, based on a character from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is one of our favorite movies of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. Such a good movie. If you guys aren't aware of it, haven't seen it, I don't even know if you could watch it now and really get it. You know, it could possibly be one of those things.
I don't know. I mean, I think the humor is pretty universal. You know, it's not specific
awesome.
to time or anything like that.
Yeah. So that was from 1986. Tim Burton directed it. It's kooky, but it works. It's awesome. And obviously based after the character that Paul Reubens created called Pee-wee, right? Guy with the gray suit, little red bow tie, weird haircut. Basically a large child.
Right.
And then he had, his Pee-wee's Playhouse, his show, hugely successful. So that movie came out in 1986. When you have something that is just so successful, what's the first thing you do as a movie studio or a person involved in the movie?
Make a sequel.
Yeah. So 1988 rolls around, guys. And you know what came out?
Big Top Pee-wee.
So for some reason, instead of continuing on the story of Pee-wee and his normal habitat, which would make sense because you're okay, there's a lot of stuff going on there. You could clearly make another sequel with something else happening.
I have a theory.
Okay, good. I want to hear it later. Oh no, guys. They're let's put Pee-wee on a farm in an old west ghost town, only populated by old people. And is in the mountains, but has tornadoes. We'll get to that. And he's suddenly this insane botanist. Don't know how that happened. And he's living this totally different life. I don't get it.
Yeah. A lot of theories. A lot of conspiracy theories out there floating around. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I have never heard anyone talk about this movie.
Yeah. It's a weird one. And I'm not even sure how we saw it. I mean, obviously we were big fans of Pee-wee, and we love that movie so much. And we were oh, sweet, a sequel.
Yeah,
but
this was when Dad recorded off the TV or something. Okay. I remember the label was not I can see the Pee-wee's Big Adventure label and I can see this label. And this one was the different style, Baby Andre 2, if you will.
There were several Baby Andres.
I mean, really just two.
You were the Rocky movies. You're
no,
Baby Andre
there's
1.
only two of us. God.
Sorry, Baby Andre was the tape because when Sweetie here was born, she was the one who really came about when Dad went in full throttle with the video, and so she was the baby that got all the videos. So Baby Andre was the basically chronicling her child or her babyhood from couple months to I don't know a year, right?
It's my favorite movie, and we're going to do it on the podcast.
We're
going to cover it here.
I mean, it's classic. The scenes are so good.
I know. No. But
I'm a co-star. Just want you to know.
Emmy Dumas is my favorite character.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's really the scene stealer.
Where's her Oscar? So I think we had it. So we watch it all the time. And rewatching this, I was yeah, I just can, this one, Pippi Longstocking, has certain scenes or moments where you're oh my God, I would watch this all the time. We thought this was a good movie, I think. Yeah. But I remember it also creeping me out a lot more than Pee-wee's Big Adventure did.
Yeah. Well, because circus. So as we were saying, we'll go over this as synopsis, but it's essentially Pee-wee in a new habitat, but then a circus comes into the picture, and then you get creepy circus shit, which is one of those things that is okay, exciting and entertaining to children, but also like very scary. You know, there's like some elements of the circus that are like, ooh, wow, like elephants and tigers. But then you throw in like the clowns and sort of the freaks.
Okay. Well, it's
not
full
cool.
circle because pretty sure we all hate clowns because of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And then he was like, let's just also put weird circus shit in this movie and freak people out.
Yeah.
Like, it's responsible for like why anyone is afraid of clowns. I feel like all these instances of clowns in movies. Like,
Right.
I cannot think of a single movie where they were like made us cute, sweet clown.
Well, I feel like
that
these ones
wasn't
weren't
creepy.
as bad because you got to see the clowns as real people
I hate that
out
though.
of makeup.
I just wish you would like either wash it all off or like keep it all on.
Yeah.
You can't
Why do they have like
both ways.
tan
Why is
makeup?
he like a drug addict and like I hate him.
Okay,
Snowball.
So here's my weird theory. Not weird. Here's my theory about this movie. Okay, so the first one seemed like very okay, like might have been for kids, but was really that great borderline like for kids and adults because you can find things that they both like. That movie is like really amazing. I can't like think of anything that's really bad about that movie. Like the first one, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right? It's so clever.
It's perfect.
The writing is good. The jokes are good. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So then this one, I felt like they tried to lean a little bit more towards like the kids, like entertaining children more, except there's like weird sexual shit in it, which is like maybe how they were trying to like win over the adults instead of making it like a good movie. They're like, oh, we'll just throw like sexual innuendos and make like Pee-wee a horn dog. Like it just does not fit with his character from the first one at all. Like you don't go with some like asexual dude to suddenly being like a nymphomaniac / have a hair fetish. I mean, Pee-wee in the big one could have like a shit about girls to the point you were like, okay, like is he asexual? Like he had no interest in like sweet little Dottie, or Simone, right? Like it was just like not a
she
factor.
was married, so. Or she had a fiance, right?
But that made sense because Pee-wee is a large child, so you don't want to see him doing those things. So when you see him doing a, I don't know, 2-minute makeout in this,
it's something we never asked for. It's something we never wanted. Maybe this was, during Paul Reubens' like crazy masturbating in public stage. So he was, I don't know, a little messed up. I can't say. It's honestly the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. I think it's the weirdest movie that's ever been created. And that's like saying there's so many weird movies out there. Like this is weirder than like The Room to me.
There's just like no place for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just like I don't understand where this is supposed to go or who this is supposed to be for or literally any of that. And it's a shame because I mean I don't think like Paul Reubens was like hurting because like I said like he had Pee-wee's Playhouse, which was a show, which will like continued basically the Pee-wee's Big Adventure, just the wackiness of that show.
Or was it before Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No.
I thought
I thought it was like kind of
I don't
all
really know
together
the-
and continued after Big Adventure.
Yeah,
I think it
probably.
was still on when this movie happened because I mean it's only 2 years after that of Big Adventure, but so I don't know. So and like interesting cast, right? So you have obviously Paul Reubens as Pee-wee. They got Kris Kristofferson, famous singer songwriter, actually, and has
Pee-wee's Playhouse, 1986 to 1990. So it was like the same time.
Okay, yeah. So he was like doing it all. So you have Kris Kristofferson, so of A Star Is Born fame, the one with Barbara Streisand, right, from the 70s. And then, a really big singer-songwriter who's in that group, the Highwaymen, which was like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and him and somebody else, I forget. So they were like a super group, when they like put all these big guys together.
Do you think I'll ever be the person that's like, someone lists a bunch of people and I'm the last one and they're like, somebody else, I don't remember.
That's really terrifying. I hope not. I don't think you would be. You're a star.
Sad life to live.
You'll always be a star.
Go on.
You'll always be a star to me, sweetie, with a Y. Yeah.
I'm in the shadows.
So like I am unclear like how they got Kris Kristofferson to sign on for this role. It like is so funny to me. First of all, he's like really attractive. I think I was attracted to him when I saw this movie as a child.
Ew, gross.
And I don't know if it's like his Indiana Jones costume. So Kris Kristofferson plays the like ringmaster of the circus. The circus that like
Ringleader?
no
Ringleader?
ringmaster.
He's the ringleader. Like,
It's ringmaster who is like the leader of the circus.
all right, fine.
So weird guy. We'll talk about him later. But cool part, I think one of the better parts of this film. You have Penelope Ann Miller from The Gun in Betty Lou's Handbag. Is she in that?
What? That's a movie?
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
What else?
Adventures in Babysitting?
Adventures in Babysitting. Brenda and Adventures in Babysitting. Yeah. So she's Winnie, the fiance. You find out. Okay, weird. So now also Pee-wee's like getting engaged to people. Like what? What is this?
Yeah.
So weird. That I always forget her name, but basically the hot Italian girl from Rain Man / Hot Shots. She's cool as Gina in this. Who else?
And the Piccola Poopola brothers.
And the Piccola Poopola brothers. Who are they?
I don't think there's anyone else.
Yeah.
Really sorry, we forgot
Benicio del Toro.
The most important actor of all.
Two important actors. Benicio del Toro as his first movie role.
Yep.
Don't worry, I only know that because I had to write my Instagram story and figured out how to like spell that.
I was watching something the other day and someone was like,
lowercase d,
somebody
Toro.
said his name in like an interview and they said it like super weird. And I was like,
Benicio of the Bulls.
It's not Belnicio.
It's Benicio.
Benicio, like Ben. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. First movie role, guys, as a dog.
You can really tell he becomes like a
He was
star
great.
actor.
Oh my god, he was awesome.
He
I was
really,
like, good for you, buddy.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, he killed it.
Method.
He killed that dog role. Yeah. So the Dogman Duke, and then Dustin Diamond. No lines. Didn't say a word, but appears at the very end, and also in his first role.
Cute. I mean, he's just he's probably credited as like smiling kid because that's all he does. He's just so excited.
He was a bun.
So good times.
Yeah. So like random good cast, but like kind of random. Again, I'm like unclear how they like roped people into doing this movie. I mean, I guess like Pee-wee was a kind of a big thing then, but like what? I mean, Kris Kristofferson? Just like I'm so confused. And okay, well, we'll talk about it at the end.
It's
but
not like he was getting like crazy parts. I don't think, right? Like if
his
you're,
IMDb is chock full
Yeah.
for like literally
Maybe.
ever. He's still doing acting roles.
yeah, and he kind of looks like James Brolin.
Yeah.
Who played the Pee-wee. Pretend Pee-wee in the movie and Pee-wee's
Yep.
Big Adventure. I don't know. Yeah, he's just not my type. That big like hulking beard guy. Like
Who was that's not your type?
He scared me or something. You know how I felt about like scary men. I don't know. Like
Oh, I think he's hot.
I don't know. I
I gotta see him in
Too
that
scary.
Stars Born, the
Yeah.
70s one.
Yeah.
All I can like see is like the video, the front of like the poster or something, where it's like he's like bare chested and Barbara Streisand's like all on over him. Weird.
Wow. Yeah.
But cool.
Hot stuff. Cool. All right. Anything else before we get started?
No, I'm excited to talk about it. I mean, was I like I didn't think it was like a terrible movie. I thought it was
just
entertaining.
now?
Yeah. I thought it was entertaining. I mean, it made no sense at all, but like it's about the circus. Like nothing makes sense in the circus.
Kind of. I don't know. Yeah, it's just so random. It's just like I don't know. Like movie wise, there's a lot of problems.
Well, what I applaud them for, as we've talked about like 100 times because we've done so many sequels, when people do sequels, there's like often, they're basically repeating the first movie. And that can be good in some ways, depending on how you do it. But sometimes that gets really tiring. And you're like, okay, like I didn't want the same exact movie. Like I need something like a little bit different. So only I feel like a couple movies do that well. They like didn't really do that strategy here. They like basically started from like zero. And they had like, the Pee-wee character and what he looked like. And like a couple of his jokes, let's say, but like that was it. That was the only thing that carried
It's really
over.
more the way that he said joke. Like they don't do the same jokes, but
Right.
he does the same delivery of something. So like in the breakfast scene, instead of like, oh, Mr. T's cereal, he's like, oh, share your pancake, like,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's like another breakfast scene, but different. So
Yeah.
yeah, they did do something different. We applaud that.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. And like, interestingly enough, so I guess whatever movie house or studio did this one was not the same one as did Pee-wee's Big Adventure, so they couldn't carry over any of the music, even though Danny Elfman also did the composing the music for this one. Isn't that weird? So they couldn't use like the Pee-wee theme and stuff that he created for Big Adventure.
Yeah.
So he had to like start over.
We
But
made something like sort of similar. You
Yeah.
could tell it's like in the same. It'd be on the
it's-
same album.
Oh, I mean, the music was great. Like Danny Elfman's awesome. Like he does such kooky stuff, but it really works in some projects for sure. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about it, guys. This movie is freaky. I'm gonna have such weird dreams today. Oh my god, I can't wait. I love circus dreams.
What?
I mean, I don't have them like that often.
I have
but,
nightmares. Like I have I'm like, was this a real memory or is this a nightmare?
Well, for the synopsis, like, what are your feelings about circuses in general?
I hate them.
You hate them, okay? Because
because of this recurring nightmare.
So
I
like
have.
Big Apple Circus comes around here, I'm always like, let's go, and Sweetie's like, no, never. And I like am so sad because I'm not sure if I like the circus, but I want to go and like confirm that I don't, you know. And we still haven't been able to go because Sweetie here won't fucking go with me.
I'm just okay. I have this memory. I don't know if it was a dream or memory, but I'm walking into the circus with mom and dad, and there's like a tent, you know, and there's like bleachers, and I'm so short that I can see under those bleachers into the clown's dressing room where they're like getting ready, and they're all like staring at me and scary. So like I don't. But then I also had another dream that I was like riding an elephant, and the girl I was sitting behind, I swear to God, was this girl Teresa Newton. But now I'm like,
I'm pretty sure that happened because I remember that. Here's what I remember about the circus. Ready? Like you walk in and there's like elephant poop everywhere, and like elephants are just shitting all over the place. That's the only thing I remember. You'd be like, "Sweet, an elephant," and it'd be like, it'd just like be dumping all over the place.
So much shit and like giant shit. Like how and like what do they? I thought they only ate like peanuts.
I don't eat peanuts. They eat like their shit is full of hay. It's just like basically hay bales just like coming out of their butts. It's nuts.
Who eats the peanuts? Is that Dumbo?
How can they survive on hay?
I don't
They're
know.
like huge
And why-
animals.
yeah, still.
Don't they need to eat a lot?
I don't know. I mean, they're not carnivores.
Guys, what do you know about elephants?
tweet us?
Anyway, that's like literally my only memory of the circus. So I would like to go again. Anyone wants to go with me?
Fine,
you know?
I'll go if I get really like drunk or high or
Ooh,
something.
yeah. I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
I guess. Take your boyfriend.
Hi, Jimmy.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. It's time for the Sweetie Synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties.
Lunch with Winnie.
Pee Wee Herman has moved to the country. He has found himself a nice farm, a bunch of animals, and he's made a new life for himself somewhere. We're not sure where. But there's mountains, there's tornadoes. Where could it be? I don't know.
Where could it be?
I do know one thing, though, and that is that this town consists of 50 old people, 4 children, and 1 school teacher.
Hot town.
Very weird. I'm just like, where do those children come from? The old people are so rude. This movie gives a really bad, name for old people. Like, just say like, oh, old people hate everything, are super like crotchety and rude.
Super crotchety.
Don't like anything different. It's our grandparents, right?
Yeah.
Like, basically.
So wait, did you say already that it's like seems like a different time period?
No. So so we don't know where we are. We don't know when we are specifically. It could be a mix between the Old West or 1950s or the 40s. Like,
Yeah.
best guess. I don't know.
I mean, the styling is nuts. So you have like little kids playing at recess in like coonskin caps and like Newsy Boy, like from the Newsy style caps. You have old ladies with like, old lady hats, those like brooches with like cameos in them, like weird shawls. There's like a weird general store where you like go and you're like, Sam, I need like 12 cans of tomato soup, like 3 things of flour. And then you like put it on a tab and then you pay it like once a month.
The baby boom, it's like same story there, Vermont, little small towns. Like, I thought that they were just doing this like small town thing when I was little. But it's clear to me that either they were trying to commit to this different time period, or, and this is probably more correct, is that they didn't really have a big budget as far as like costuming goes. So they were just like, I don't know, find some like old country shit. Yeah. And they were just like these like prop store like clothes of like old people and whatever. Like, it's just, they didn't think about it. Like, the overall said Oshkosh Bagosh. Like, they didn't like put big thought into this.
I mean, there was like no TVs, right? No telephones.
Right. There's
also,
nothing
like,
that
no
identifies
technology.
anything.
And they have to bring in the circus element, right? So I think they did want to somehow like do some sort of 1930s Barnum and Bailey like stuff.
There was a gas pump though.
Oh, and there's cars.
Right. So
but,
we
like,
know
old
it's
cars.
probably 40s or 50s.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it puts like an interesting touch to it, but it does, again, like there's no connection really at all to like the first
Doesn't make
Pee-wee,
sense.
and I think that's kind of the point. Like, they don't necessarily want you, though. I did read in the trivia of like the writers what they thought the backstory was for this, which they do show in the beginning. So there's like a dream sequence where Pee-wee is singing as like a lounge singer, and he's like way too famous, so he's like, screw this, and he like basically like takes off like a rocket and then just like is fake flying, and then he wakes up in his bed. So the writer's like story was that from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that movie that was created from his story, he made so much money, he became really famous, became a lounge singer, and then like couldn't handle the fame, so was like, I'm out of here. Good story, guys.
So he moved to the 1940s?
Yes. I'm like, he time traveled? Like, what the fuck? He got an advanced degree in botany?
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
No.
So, I mean, here's his life. He wakes up. He sleeps. He has a best friend named Vance. That's Lance with a V. Vance. And he's a talking pig, you guys. He's a talking pig. We don't know why.
But like only occasionally. Did you find that weird? Like he was selectively speaking.
Well, he only spoke in front of Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something.
Okay.
Was he really like talking, or was this all in it was that part in Pee-wee's head? Like, did he actually also become like schizophrenic and like now thinks he's talking to this pig? I don't know. I know. So yeah, got the talking pig, and so Pee-wee's got a couple secret farm projects. He's got like regular shit like carrots and shit, but then he's got like secret greenhouse, right? And in the secret greenhouse is not marijuana, but a couple experiments. So he's like doing all this like chemical shit, like trying to. Yeah. Okay. So basically, Pee-wee stumbles upon genetically modified fruits and vegetables. So he like creates this like potion
yeah.
thing that when sprinkled on fruits makes them like grow to like enormous, ridiculous sizes. And the piece de resistance is a hot dog tree.
Because that's what the world needs.
Everyone needs a hot dog tree. Would you eat a hot dog off the hot dog tree?
Yeah, sure. It's really fresh.
Ugh, it's probably cold. Like, I don't know. I'm just not like, is it
warming up?
How did it cook?
No. I mean, hot dogs are already cooked. It's like cooked meat.
Right. But it just doesn't make sense. So it's weird. Okay, so let's see. Pee-wee goes to town to meet his fiancée, Winnie, whom he has lunch with every single day. And presumably she brings egg salad every day because for some reason she thinks he likes it, which is false. He hates it. They don't seem to have a great relationship, I'll be honest.
Right. So there's a couple of things that get revealed, egg salad being one, that they're maybe not the best match, right? Egg salad, number one. Number two, he can't run his fingers through her hair, which he really wants to do.
Which is really important because he has a hair fetish.
Yeah. She also seems to be like kind of a prude. You know, he keeps attacking her, and she's like, "Oh no, Pee-wee!" You know,
she doesn't want to be attacked.
She doesn't want to be attacked.
What a prude!
Yeah, those were some awkward scenes.
And you forgot the most important one. She was not seeing the pictures he saw in the clouds.
Yes.
He kept describing these things, and she was like, "Don't see it. Don't see it."
That's not love. I don't know what is.
That's the true test, guys. But yeah, the hair shit is so fucking weird. It's like a compulsive urge he has, which is like even creepier when you think about like the masturbation like piece of Paul Reubens' life, right? This like it's like
never explained. And I guess it would be one thing if that was like something his character's known for. Is it?
No.
Why would it be?
Hell no. So weird. He just liked bikes and like presidential iconography.
Yeah. Iconography.
Nothing about hair fetishes.
Yeah. It's fucking weird.
It's weird. So yeah, so he goes to town. The old folks in the town hate him. And you know what? I don't know if this is just like we're old now or like what, but like Pee-wee's pretty fucking rude.
Yeah, he's so rude.
I would hate him also.
He's so rude. I would totally hate him. And I don't know if we watched this as kids and we were like, yeah, those old people are mean. Because now we're on the other side of it. I'm like, man, that guy's a jerk.
He's such a jerk. And like he waltzes into the general store and just like expects the guy to make him a cheese sandwich.
I want a cheese sandwich.
He like cries because these old ladies are in front of him and like they're being helped first. Like, yeah that's how it fucking works,
that's how it works,
Pee-wee. First come, first serve. Like,
also, like, make your own fucking cheese sandwiches. You know what a cheese sandwich is? A slice of cheese between two things of bread.
And then he has the audacity to ask for a pickle, which, like, I'm sure he knows where the pickles are kept. You know that people are playing checkers on the pickle barrel. Like, don't ask for why are you making things difficult, Pee-wee?
Those are my favorite kind of pickles. You
ever
get those in the barrel?
I know that scene. I was
that
like,
made me want to pickle like a meat.
Yeah, I want one totally. But yeah, Pee-wee's kind of a dick. So I get it. But the old people are like especially nasty to him, I will say. Okay, so that's his life. So there's a storm a brewing, right? Again, don't know where we are, but some storm.
We're surrounded by mountains, but apparently they get tornadoes. Not sure how that works.
I mean, it could have just been like a hurricane or something. I don't know.
In the mountains.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know.
Coastal storms.
We also have a talking pig and a hot dog tree. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like a weird world.
True.
So he runs home. It's just like Wizard of Oz, you know? Everything. Like we said, everything connects
That was
to the
in
Wizard
Kansas.
of Oz. No, I know, but like the fact that like he ran home and the storm was coming and they like it just felt it harkened to Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So he tells Vance to get all the animals in the storm shelter, and then Pee-wee has to like board up his greenhouse. They take refuge in the basement. Storm passes, comes out of the storm cellar. A circus has blown onto the farm.
It is literally blown into town, guys. Like, I don't know if it was like picked up by a tornado and just like, because it's kind of like a hot mess.
That's what I would come to believe, which again, the Wizard of Oz taught us you could travel by a tornado essentially, when we all know that's not true. They'd all been dead.
There'd be body parts everywhere. Everyone was entirely intact.
Again, psychologically, maybe this was so dark and awful that he just like created this whole movie in his head because of what he saw.
Maybe.
The aftermath. So the circus is here. He's fine with it though, because Pee-wee
loves that shit.
I mean, but then they had like other scenes where he was like getting annoyed about stuff. Like he has to wait in line at the bathroom. He sees all these people waiting in line for the bathroom and just goes in. Right, another dick thing. I was just like thinking all the time that he was a dick. Yeah, but it's just like common. Again, he doesn't understand the concept of lines. Strange. But so he's friends with all these circus people. So he meets Mace Montana. Good name.
Good name.
Ringmaster, ringleader. We'll leave it up to you to decide. No, just kidding. It could be either. And he's the leader of the circus. I don't know how really their circus works. Like, do they have a schedule? Like, where are they supposed to go next? Like, were they supposed to set up the circus in this old people town?
I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like circuses and the ones they're talking about are ones that are just go from town to town. They set up, they do their little show, and then they move on.
Yeah.
That was like basically the circus. Not like necessarily planned or anything. I think it was just kind of like
Pop-up circus?
Yeah. Or like
cool.
Just like the traveling people would just like do that. And when did you ever see the weird Coen Brothers thing where the Liam Neeson one where he has the guy who's just a torso and he's just like speaking, and that's how they made money.
Always tell me about it.
It's like really fucked up. It's like the Ballad of Buster Scruggs or whatever is like, but there's all these little like mini stories in it, and that's one of them. So I mean, that was a very like old West thing. I feel like you would have like this talent, and then you'd go from town to town, you'd like make money. But that's how circuses did too. So it's like it's like a circus, but like also a freak show. Which was that how circuses were initially?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's like how Barnum and Bailey.
There was usually like a freak show element to it.
Right. So they have all like the tricks and the animals, but then they have like the bearded lady and like Siamese twins and the mermaid and like all that kind of stuff. So they need a place to stay and like fix all their stuff before they can either do their show or move on to the next town. Right.
Yeah. So they try to go into town, try to get people excited about the circus. It doesn't go over well because this, like I said, town full of old people.
Yeah, wrong town
I don't know
to stop in.
where those like 4 children are, but they would have liked this probably. But the old people are like, get out of here, and they say very rude things. Very like xenophobic.
Yeah, it becomes very anti-immigrant, guys.
Yeah,
awful.
Yeah, and yeah,
because most of the circus people are a couple of them are Italian. It sounds like some are like Russian or like middle,
a lot of black people.
Black people, Eastern European. So let's say like unsavory people that you would like have in a town, especially in a small town and filled with like really old people.
Old white people.
Yeah.
So, so they're like, "Oh, we'll leave," and then I'm like confusing the pig with Mace, but Mace, gets really down on himself. He's like, "I think the circus is over. Like, I don't think we have a place to go." And Pee-wee's like, "Man, you get like one bad experience and you just call it all off, huh?" So he convinces him to like kind of take a vacation with the circus, and they can stay at Pee-wee's house and like recuperate. Pee-wee has an ulterior motive though, because he spotted this hot trapeze artist / like acrobat lady, Gina
Piccola
Piccola, and he's head over heels, like love at first sight. in love, crazy love. Like forgets about Winnie.
Fiance, what?
Yeah, forgets about his fiance and just is like after her. So I think he's like, yes, you can stay at my farm. Also, let's have sex, Gina.
Let's mush our parts together.
So he makes even more friends with the circus people, gets close to Gina. They have this romantic day on an elephant, and then they make out under a waterfall for like literally 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it's
it was
the most
disgusting,
excruciating 5 minutes of my life. Like when, please God, make it stop.
I mean, you know, like I want Pee Wee to find love. Like I totally do. But like,
We don't need to see it.
No.
No one, like I said, nobody asked for this. Why are you giving it to us for 10 minutes? So Winnie walks in. She's pissed. Throws her egg salad sandwiches in the waterfall. Sweeties, we'll talk about that more detail later. And then Gina is pissed at him because she was like, "You have a fiance? What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Which again, agree with her 100%.
Rightly so.
Like, what a sleazeball.
Bullshit. That guy
And
sucks.
To this point, we just thought Winnie was like his friend, like Dottie, who like he's been stringing along for like years, right? We didn't think there was anything serious
Right.
about it until he drops the fiance bomb. Like, what? Oh my God, Pee Wee. So now he's kind of like upset, you know, both his women hate him. He tries to apologize to Winnie. She's not buying it. She's like,
Good.
listen, we were in a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And now I have people that actually love me. So meanwhile, the Piccolo Poopla brothers
Moved in.
moved in on Pee
Real
Wee's
quick.
turf. And they adore Winnie and treat her very well and like worship the ground she walks on. So she's fine.
She's fine.
She's like, Pee Wee, go off, be with your lady, like whatever. So he tries. But Sweetie doesn't go well. Doesn't go so hot.
Yeah, good. He really needed to like earn that trust back because he was kind of like a slime ball, right? So he's like trying to talk to Gina at one point, and she just like won't have anything to do with it. Meanwhile, he had shown Mace his hot dog tree, and that gave Mace inspiration to be like, you know, screw the old circus. Like we need a new idea here. Like our show is old. Like, let's get a new idea. So he gets this idea to do basically like a circus / farm theme. Wow, brilliant.
Dumbest theme I've ever heard in my life. Also, if you lived in like a farm community, why would you want to see a circus that was also a farm? Like, make it like outer space or something cool. Like, what?
But he thinks it's like the greatest idea in the world. So like, okay, so now, you know, we're going to take this time now to, you know, create new farm, you know, hybrid circus farm costumes and new acts around farm stuff. So like they're going to all do that. Meanwhile, Pee Wee decides to take the romantic route with Gina and serenade her with an accordion and do some like love song shit. And she's just like chucking stuff out of her little trailer and being like, fuck you, like get out of here. I love
She
that
broke
scene.
all of her things.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Her like Italian accent and just like freaking out at him.
But yeah.
But then, okay, so you have to keep in mind that like they've actually, the time they spent together is maybe approximately like 2 hours and like 10 minutes of a makeout.
At most.
That's like their entire relationship. And he drops the I love you bomb, guys. And she's like, oh, like mad, but kind of like, oh, wow, I really like him. Like, what?
Yeah.
Gross.
But yeah, so they make up. Yay, all is well. Now Pee Wee needs an act so he can join the circus. So he tries everything. It's just like in Greece when Danny Zuko's going around trying everything. Pee Wee's like, maybe I can be a human cannibal. Maybe I can be an acrobat. Nothing really fits. He's not great at anything. Right. It's not like he has a secret hidden talent like Danny Zuko for like jumping hurdles, you know? So he's a little lost again. But new problem. They need to get the old people to want to come to the circus. Otherwise, why is there a circus? Also, the old people come and are like, Pee Wee, we're going to put you under arrest. And they made up all these fake laws. Like, what is this place? It's a nightmare.
I know you sent that hippopotamus to kill me.
So they need a plan. So Pee Wee, you know, like totally maybe skipped his ethics class, but like is like, oh, I know. I'll drug all the old people with my cocktail wieners that have my magical serum that also de-ages things.
Right. So what happened was, okay, so him and Gina make up, and I guess they have SCX in the trailer, guys.
Oh, right.
Again, disturbing scene. Comes out of that like a man. He's like seeing the world through totally different light, and basically mixes up his potion or whatever that was growing all of the produce in his greenhouse. Feeds it in a watering can to the hot dog tree, and the hot dog tree shrinks down to cocktail wieners. So basically he has the opposite effect now. So stuff isn't growing, it's shrinking. So keep that in the back of your mind.
But Yeah, so he gives those cocktail winners laced with this stuff to all the old people as like a free sample. I don't know who in their right mind would be like, wow, a basket full of cocktail wieners, count me in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least
Gross.
make them into pigs in a blanket.
No, like put some effort into
Ew.
it.
No
But
dipping sauce?
They go
So
crazy.
sick.
They go crazy for it. And then they all immediately turn into small children or like their child selves. Which, okay, so this doesn't make sense because the cocktail wieners just got smaller. They didn't like de-age into like pigs that like they were before they were the hot dogs, right? So that doesn't make sense, but whatever. There's such, like I said, talking pig,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
They were small. The kids got
Yeah.
the
So
parents,
now they all want to go to the
adults got
circus.
small, yeah.
And they go to the circus and they do it and it's a great show. That's why they blew all the costume budget on this like last 10 minutes of the movie, which is just this circus spectacular in this farm theme where everything's farm theme but like sequin to the nines. Where can I get some sequin overalls?
Yeah.
Please, God, tell me.
Last scene is pretty impressive, and everything. You're right. It's a spectacular. Everyone's costume is like sequins, but with like overalls or denim or gingham or like it's so cool.
So brief, and it's really like the last 10 minutes, and then that's it. And then Pee-wee's like off with his lady, so presumably he's gonna travel.
And he also found a talent.
Oh, and he has a talent for the what's that called?
Tightrope.
Tightrope. I was like the live wire. No. Tightrope walking, with the bonus addition of having all of his farm animals also walk the tightrope. So he can bring his animals with him in too, like on the circus road, right?
And they do one call back to, Pee-wee's Big Adventure where he does the tequila dance dun, 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 on the tightrope. So neat, sweet little callback.
That was nice.
And then he just basically like walks away with Gina. She's in all her like circus regalia.
But like, so what happens now?
Yeah,
like
who
the
knows?
children just like are like, great. Like,
Were they like that forever?
were those kids at the school? Did they have parents? Were they like, where are my old people parents?
Those
like,
weren't the parents though.
where do those kids come from?
I don't know. But they weren't the parents. I mean, I think they were at the circus too. The actual real kids, maybe.
It's Kid Nation.
Yeah.
I've talked
Right.
about this before, but there's a TV show on NBC where I'm like, or some TV station where I'm pretty sure they stole the idea from this, where it's just like a town
Real
full
world
of kids.
with kids. Yeah.
So that's what it is. So, I mean, what happens now? They age back into adults and old people?
Man, they got to live two lives.
Are they
That's awesome.
still 80 years old, but in a little person's body?
I don't know. I don't think it's the point of the film. I honestly don't.
I just have so many questions. But yeah, that's it. Over. Happy ending. Ta-da! And Winnie's joined the circus as well.
Oh yeah, when he was in the
So
circus,
she has a good
she's
ending as
engaged
well.
now to all
All
four
four bros.
Piccola Poopa.
So-
Piccola Poopola?
Piccola
Poopola.
Poopola brothers. The Piccola Poopola brothers. So, I mean, wherever we are, apparently that is allowed. Don't know what state that would be. You can have wives, but I've never heard of multiple husbands. So, yeah, that's the flick. Like I said, it's weird. There's just so many, like, weird things. They're just like, yep, talking pig, mermaid lady, tiny little person.
Yep.
It's normal.
Pretty normal stuff.
Normal. Okay, so my theory. So I like that you gave that insight into the beginning dream sequence. Now that all makes sense, and I agree with that. But I like my version better, which is that. Okay, Pee-wee had a great time in the first movie, but ultimately it was like a little too much for him. He saved all those animals from the fire.
Okay.
Traumatic experience. Probably had PTSD. He's like, I need to get away. Also is like, this world is shit. Somebody stole my bike. Like, where's the humanity? So he fucking leaves everything and is like, I'm going to go far away, secluded town, and just live on a farm. And he still has all the animals because he still is connected to the animals that he like saved from the pet store. So he's like always going to be saving animals and like helping them. Okay. So that's his new life.
Okay, two questions then. Where is Speck?
Yeah, okay.
There was a dog on the
Okay,
farm. What
okay.
happened to Speck?
Maybe Francis, in a bout of jealous rage, killed Speck, and that is what drove Pee-wee to like leave
dark.
and abandon everything.
And then, second question: why didn't he take his bike? Because he was like walking everywhere. He could have biked around.
Obsessed with his bicycle. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Nothing.
It just seemed out of character.
Or even his little like sack, the red sack that he takes to Texas, right? Oh man, so many opportunities. But yeah, wow, it's weird. It's still, I maintain, a very weird movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to talk about, first? Like maybe just memories?
Yeah. So I have a couple like real key memories of this movie. Okay. So this movie made me think I didn't like egg salad, but like egg salad is delicious,
because
and it's upsetting to me that I never tried it until I was much older.
Yes, but you had a thing with eggs when you were little that you didn't get over until like college.
Yeah, when did I start eating like omelets?
Yeah.
again? That's true. Yeah, I had like a
think when
traumatic
you couldn't
puke
eat
experience
bread.
in kindergarten. No, but I feel like I ate omelets maybe by high school or something. Yeah.
She's rediscovered them at some point.
Yeah.
So that makes sense
Anyway,
why
okay,
you wouldn't
so-
have thought that.
But like hard-boiled eggs, hard sell for kids anyway, right? Like that's kind of weird.
I mean, I liked them, but
Yeah.
I don't want to admit that to anybody.
Did you remember eating egg salad as like a little, a little person?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did
okay.
like egg salad, yes.
So anyway, so there's a couple like, so Pee Wee doesn't like egg salad, but Winnie keeps like convinced that that's his favorite food or whatever. Weird.
Just tell her.
Yeah. So he like fakes eating this sandwich, and then two parts that I remember concerning the egg salad are when she's like eating and looking at the clouds, and like she's biting the sandwich, and bits of the egg salad are like dripping on his face. Like, okay, I like egg salad, but gross.
Ew.
And then when she finds him making out with the Gina under the waterfall, and she goes, Pee-wee! And like chucks the egg salads in the waterfall. I was so traumatized by that as a kid. Like I would be like dreading for it to happen because it's like this nice music and they're like all in this like romantic scene or whatever, and then that like scream just like comes out of nowhere and like pierces.
I thought you got upset that she wasted the sandwiches, but then I'm like, oh yeah,
Also,
she doesn't
but
like
also
egg salad.
food waste. Yeah. Also food waste because that is really sad to me, but really good like symbolic like like here goes your relationship and our egg salad.
Well, it was all sham anyways.
It was.
Winnie.
I mean,
didn't
he
even
was
like
faking.
it.
He was faking the relationship. He was faking liking egg salad. The whole thing was a fucking fake.
Yeah, bullshit.
Wait. Okay. Connected to that, my other memories are the mini breakfast. Okay, I love that. So Midge is Mace's wife, Midge Montana, and she is I don't know 5 inches tall.
She's microscopic.
Yeah.
It seems.
So, like, I don't know how that works. Good for them, like, you know, getting married and
What
all
is the
that.
love life
but,
like?
And they make, like, sexual innuendos, and you're like, wait a minute. I mean, was it, like, a amusement park ride if she's, like, jerking him off?
What?
Like, a little, like, if you're 5 inches tall and you're just, like, going like this.
What is that, an amusement ride?
Because it's like an amusement ride for her. She'd be, like, riding it.
For
Like,
her.
physically riding.
Oh, but it'd be too big. Like, she couldn't.
She's not putting it in
it'd be
her
like-
vagina.
I know, but like I don't know. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if it was a sexual relationship and you're like, okay, maybe they're just sort of like into each other's personalities, but they do make sexual innuendos.
all the time. Yeah.
Anyway, so she like is, you know, as done like kind of a bad, I don't even know what that is, like green screen or whatever that is. She appears like fuzzy and like, you know, it's not great. But anyway, so and also she's like gets carried around in Mace's pocket. Like, okay, seems a little dark, seems a little hot. Can she breathe?
He seems to forget about her most of the
all
time.
the time. And so anyway, so like, oh, Midge made this breakfast for you. Like Pee Wee wakes up in the morning and it's this tiny plate with like tiny sunny side eggs and like tiny pieces of bacon, this little tiny piece of toast, and Pee Wee basically like takes it like a shot. Oh my god, I used to love that when I was little. I thought that was the cutest thing. I like small things.
Right.
Mini breakfasts were like,
But like
my jam.
again, why are there? So you're telling me there's also mini chicken and like mini pig out there, like
she is a mini oven, stove,
right and frying pan. Like there's
Mini
just-
eggs were the
it
eggs.
just you lose one loose string and you like unravel the whole thing. But yeah, I don't remember the mini breakfast as much, but the egg salad 100%.
And then the hot dog tree, I did like remember
Right.
a lot of.
Yeah. For me, it's like it's all the creepy stuff. Like, I remember I don't just like, okay. Well, the biggest one is, let's see. Hold on. The creepy hair fetish. Oh, so there's this part at the beginning where he goes to visit Winnie at the school, and there's these two little girls. They like look away for a second, and then the two little girls in the school are having a mud pit fight. and they're like all rowdy and like getting like hurting each other. It's crazy.
I don't remember that.
That freaked me out. The cheese sandwich always
yeah.
creeped me out. The scene where the guy like makes him an angry cheese sandwich and like has this giant meat cleaver and he hits the cutting board and like the cheese goes flying. So the actual sandwich that Pee-wee gets has like a speck of cheese on it.
Yes.
And he's like,
That was really depressing to me. And no condiments. Also, that guy who owns that store is so scary looking. His eyebrows, oh my god!
that must be with makeup. They must do like a pull thing
Yeah,
to
that
have
was
one
to make him look angry.
It's
all the
just
time.
one eyebrow that's arched way up to the side. He's crazy. But yeah,
If
that
not, he gets an Oscar.
Yeah, that scene always stood out. And then the biggest one was just like all the sex stuff. So like, obviously, I think we have talked about this before, but like my sexual awakening was very early on in life. Thank you, Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch. And so like when I would be watching this movie, like as a child, I understood everything that was like happening, but it was so sexual and like even the mud. So there's what is that scene where we just like see a mud wrestling pit?
So they like make up. He says like, oh no, Gina had given him her dad, who was a famous aerialist, like cape and vest, and then they basically confirm that they're like a couple or whatever.
And then
they do it in the wagon.
And then you see the montage of all these like suggestive images, like a volcano spewing lava, like all shit. Like
the
that.
train going in the tunnel.
Train going in the tunnel was like and that's the one that happens immediately after. So you're like, okay. And then there's two women mud wrestling, and they're wearing these skimpy bikinis, and you can like see like crotches all over the place.
What is that supposed
It's
to
just,
be symbolic?
Scared me. And when he's like molesting Winnie, you can like see her underwear a bunch, and it just like freaked me out. And I just like Pee-wee in those sexual situations just like felt weird to me, like very uncomfortable.
Well, there were no sexual stuff.
It was not
in the first one, obviously, at all. There's none in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Well, I mean, there could be like innuendos, maybe, but like hidden. But it's just more distressing to me because like nobody finds him attractive.
Right.
It's like the least attractive thing in the world, which we get. That's like a comedy thing, but like if it was a comedy thing, then make it more like schleppy. I don't know, like it.
But they try to make it because like Gina's rationalization for like why she likes him is like, oh, he's just so funny. He makes me laugh, and I'm like, really? Because he's not funny like at all in this one.
True, yeah. So it's creepy. And then the last thing I remember is the circus at the end. So like the farm stuff. There's a song, and then Sweetie and I both had the same like scared reaction, PTSD trauma to the giant pitchfork guy at the end in the circus scene, which is a guy on like huge stilts, and he's wearing a pitchfork giant costume, and his face is painted silver like the Tin Man, and it made me like nauseous. Like I felt sick about it.
I think I'm gonna have a nightmare about that.
I hate it so much.
Scary,
so much.
Like, so scary.
I like everything else about that scene except for the pitchfork guy, who you see in every shot, who's a giant fucking pitchfork. It's really unfortunate.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, that's what I remember. And this random scene where a lion tries to eat Pee-wee, and then the lion envisions Pee-wee as like a steak. I always remember that because it's just like a really silly effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, creepy though. Creeptastic. That's what I think.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I do love Gina's clothes in this. So everyone is kind of dated, like we said, and sort of like weird, who knows, like 40s or 50s style clothes. But Gina has like some modern shit going on. I like really like it. She's like cute belted dresses, like these crop tops. A lot of them have to do with like her trapeze life and what's easiest to do like her trapeze stuff with. But her style is like on point. And I just want to say, even, this is from 1988, I'm into it.
Do you have a favorite one?
I really like that white dress off the shoulder that was like belted. That seemed like the most out of like,
80s.
modern day. Yeah. But I do like all her little crop tops, her high-waisted shorts with like the buttons.
Yes, love that.
Yeah, she wears like a lot of, crop tops. She's so like tiny. It works.
Yeah.
Like, love that bitch. And she's like, I find that actress so interesting because, so she's in Rain Man and she's such a great counterpart in Rain Man to like Tom Cruise's douchiness, let's say, because she has like such heart. And she's just like such a great character in that. And she's in Hot Shots, if you've ever seen that, which is like the spoof of Top Gun and all that kind of stuff with Charlie Sheen. But I find her so interesting looking. So it said that she was from parents who are Italian and Greek. So she lived half of her life in Naples and then like half in Greece. And she's like so pretty, and she has that cool, like, you know, such curly hair that's always sort of like, you know, never really like tamed, and like kind of crooked teeth and like a really like cute, like idiosyncratic way. Just like really enjoy her. I hope she's still working. I think she is.
She must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great character. She's total
Yeah.
Spitfire.
Yeah.
Isn't afraid to like be emotional and like react to things.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's great. She's great. Again, didn't love her when I was little because it was just like, ew, like why are you making out with Pee Wee Herman? Like it just really
I know, you're
confused
way
the
too cute.
the
Move
shit
on.
out of me.
She should be
Like,
with Mace.
ugh.
Hot Mace. So a bit more about Kris Kristofferson, right? Okay, so as I said, love him, hot, love his beard, love his style. So the end ends up being like sort of like a little like there's a song at the end, like a big top kind of like song, and they all come in. And so Kris Kristofferson is the only one you know who's like actually legit singer, and he's like the worst. And like I'm not clear of like why that happened.
He's not even singing. He's like talking. He's like, "This is the circus."
Once they started singing, I was like,
We
"Oh boy, I
are
can't wait to hear
here."
like Kris Kristofferson use those pipes." And it was so bad.
He just must have like. I would love to. Wait, is he still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, has he done an interview about this movie? Like, I would love. I need to know so many things. I think I'm gonna like search for podcasts that featured him on it and see if he ever. I'm gonna listen to all of them and let you guys know if he ever talks about it, and I'll keep you posted. But I just have. I mean, so many questions.
Okay, and here's my other memory about Kris Kristofferson in this movie. See if you have the same one. So when we would watch this, our father would be like, "Hey, Kris Kristofferson, he's in the same name club." And I'm like, "Dad, what is that?" And he said, "There is a club that you're in if your name is like Bob Roberts or something, or like Chris. I don't know. Like, okay, two first names that are the same, right?" I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." Would Kris Kristofferson be allowed in that club? Because the names aren't technically the same.
Yeah.
I think my dad was wrong, and he
No, but
convinced
I
me
mean
my
they're
whole
like
life.
similar, like Steve Stevenson. You can't have a name that's like Steve. Like it has to be a little different. But
I
it's
need
like,
more research
It's
on
like the
this.
same. Dad made it up, but it's like
I didn't think he made it up. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I thought it was real.
there's like a real club that people
Yes,
can be.
I thought it was like the Elks Club, and you like literally show up, and you're like, "Hey, my name is Kris Kristofferson," and you like get to be in this special club.
Sweetie, this is. I thought you were in on this because this is like essentially why we made the Sweetie Club. Like we make all these pretend clubs, like Sweetie Club. Like I don't know. Like it's just that's what we did. I thought you knew this whole time. So sad. I wish it was a real club. Are you really doing research on if there's the same name club?
Look it up real quick.
Membership. How to become a member of the same name club.
Same name clubs. American Profile. I don't know why I bet. Oh, okay. So this is for just everyone whose name is Betty. Okay.
Same name club.
Okay, guys. Bad news. There is not a same name club. Dad, I hate you. Man, what a scam.
I mean, I got it when I was 7 or whatever.
I'm like really gullible. Come on.
Too good.
Jesus, Dad's like rolling in his grave. He's
Oh
like,
my god,
got her.
I'm dying. Oh my god, that's great. Whew. Okay. Anything else? We haven't.
Okay. Interesting cameo with the Marble Rye lady from Seinfeld as one of the old ladies. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, I did.
Marble Rye lady. She's always like
She's
a
always-
crotchety old bitch.
She always pop it up in things.
Yes.
Yeah, especially
I
in
love
the 80s, 90s.
Can't believe being typecast as that. Okay, you're gonna be like mean old lady. You got it. She probably made good money doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Midge, you know what we said, like 5-incher, basically just like a little TV or a little image, computer image, is so it's this woman, I forget the actress's name, but she's the voice of Claudia in Chipmunk's Adventure, which we could tell immediately.
Klaus and
Yeah.
Claudia.
It was awesome. It was like so,
I will never suspect.
and she kind of looks like her too.
Yeah.
Claudia, you know.
I'm into it. I think it's awesome.
And then Andy, the 2'9" or 2'5" little guy in the circus, kind of like little sidekick of like of Mace or something. Like where is he?
Yeah.
Maybe
He seems to have a lot of jobs. He lights the cannon. He
right.
fills the mermaid's tank
jack
up.
of
I don't
all
know.
trades.
He's like
So that guy is like, he's like from Hungary or something like that, and he was in a Hungarian circus, and then he moved here, and then I think it was in the circus here. But his big claim to fame was that he was Alf, like physical Alf in that costume, like running around. And if you remember that show, like they showed like full, it wasn't just a puppet. Like they showed Alf moving all the time, and because it was like an actual little person, he was so short in that costume.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
I never watched Alf. I was never an Alf.
That's a weird show.
Never watched a single
Creepy.
show. When
Real
I found
creepy.
out later in life that he ate cats, I was like, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Never gonna watch.
I watched
that.
it a
Sorry.
little bit. That was like the era of like Small Wonder, like the sister who was the robot. Remember the dad invented Small Wonder, Mr. Belvedere. It was like that era of 90s sitcoms.
Yeah, didn't
Just
watch
the
any
10
of
of
those.
us. Do you remember that?
Nope.
The guy was like a basketball coach. He had 10,
I guess
8
I
kids.
only watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Okay, last question to wrap up, unless you have anything else.
No, I do not.
Okay, what is your favorite circus character, or like who do you find the most impressive?
Okay. Wow. So like for like real acts, right? I've always been enormously baffled by trapeze artists. Like I just don't understand how that's physically possible. Like when we were watching Batman Forever and we were like watching them do that shit, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like why is this? What? So very impressed by that. Also though, in terms of like freaks and stuff, the mermaid lady, obsessed.
Oh, okay.
Seems to be a real mermaid, guys. Like I'm gonna call it. We found real mermaid. Great, good stuff.
Yeah.
Plot hole though at the end when she's on the hay bale trailer, not in water. And the whole rest of the movie, she's like, "I need water, I'm dying." It's like Sweetie and I, if we don't drink a glass of water every like 5 minutes.
I know. Maybe we're mermaids.
So, ooh, love it. But yeah, what about you? Same?
Okay, so personality wise, I'm really obsessed with the bearded lady. Okay, she seemed really cool. She's also hot, really, really attractive. And she just had a beard.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
But
that.
like it looked amazing. And then they have this like half man, half woman, which is like I think essentially like transgender, right? So they call it a hermaphrodite, where it was like, someone who hermaphrodite has all the organs, but you don't really like present as both. Usually like choose one.
Like
I
remember,
guess.
yeah, like remember Middlesex? Like
Yeah.
she was in a freak show. Also, they
Right.
had her in like a tank or whatever. It's like the hermaphrodite mermaid or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was
But-
definitely like a thing.
Yeah, but this seemed more like transgender because they on the outs like on one side, but they did it like sort of creatively, and he had all these kind of cool outfits, and like for the farm one, he was kind of like almost like what is
American
that?
Gothic.
Gothic, where it's like the guy with the pitchfork and the old lady, and so he was like both sides of that. There's one where he was like a glamorous kind of girl with long hair on one, and then it was like it's kind of like a Raul Julia vibe to him. Yeah, I thought that guy was like kind of funny and interesting.
Yeah.
Seemed like a real nice guy girl too.
Yeah.
His name okay, the character's name was Shim for she and him.
Which again is offensive.
Yeah.
So it's always been offensive, but especially in today's day and age, like we wouldn't be able to get away with stuff like this. Just like the fact that like, it's not that like you're both. I mean, I guess you could. I don't know, but it's that like you're just the wrong gender.
Yeah.
You're trapped in the.
I'm not totally clear like what the dog man's place in like the circus is.
Yeah, they always
Unclear.
had like something like that, like Wolfman or like something. It's just a really hairy guy usually, right?
Yeah,
all
right.
those things.
They
all
had,
these freaks were just like normal people
yeah.
who just had like things.
So they had Siamese twins, bearded lady. They had like
Midge.
like a fat woman.
Oh yeah.
Totally awful. Midge, so midget, mermaid. Like Andy was like a short, kind of next level midget. Who else did they have? Trapeze, the Piccola Poopla, which was
Cannon
just like
guy blasting out of
guy
a
blasting
cannon.
Guy who did the tricks with his wife with like throwing stuff at her while she spun in a circle.
Yep, that's cool.
A lion tamer,
right.
so like all the animal stuff.
There was a seal.
Hippopotamus, which is like, are there hippopotamuses in the circus? That's like you said, real dangerous.
Well, I had this stamp set of circus things,
And
and
there
a hippo
were?
was one of them.
Okay.
They had like a ball.
You can train
But,
a
like,
hippo?
I don't think so. I think it's just like an old circus, like I'll use this word again, iconography of like that was the picture, right?
Yeah.
The theme,
Yeah.
and you had like a hippo,
Elephant,
maybe from like
lion.
Fantasia, like the hippos, like
Yeah.
ballet tutus. I don't know.
They had like horse riders. I mean, seemed pretty standard circus. Okay, clowns, Snowball.
Okay.
Wait. And then one was named Clowny.
Okay.
Worst clown name ever.
Worst clown name I ever heard. And I said this to Sweetie, and I don't think she agreed with me, but like, guys, Snowball the clown looks, when he has his makeup on, looks exactly like Bug from Uncle Buck. Same exact outfit, and the makeup kind of makes him look like that guy. And then, like we said, he has two looks: full clown makeup or started wiping off his clown makeup, then got impatient and stopped, which is also what happens to me when I take off my eye makeup. I'm like, I can get this all off, and then like, yeah, that's good enough. So that's like how he operates. And then, so in those cases, he's just like looks really pale, and then has huge bags under his eyes and like mascara smudge because he got lazy. And he looks like a crack addict.
The bearded lady.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my
I know.
god.
There's a lot of love going on in
Snowball.
that big top.
But yeah, much prefer Snowball with his clown makeup on, even though I hate clowns. He's more of an artistic, like a mime clown. So I wasn't that bothered by him.
Wait, Clowny?
No, Snowball.
Okay.
I don't know what Clowny's deal was. Missed his outfit.
Clowny should be fired. That name is horrible.
It's the worst clown name. But yeah. But other than that, yeah, pretty cool circus. Yeah. I mean, try a different theme next time, Mace. I don't know. You spent all that money on the the outfits, so I guess they're committed. But yeah, I wish them all the best. Okay, anything else? Nope. Cool. Have you guys seen this movie? I'm not sure if you have. I know Meg C's seen this movie and loves it. But if anyone else has seen it, you want to talk about it?
I wanted to say my one thing I was going to say today that's not related to this at all. Okay. I mean, it fits along with our like general theme of the podcast, so I think I should say it.
Okay.
So, guys, today I was listening to my new favorite podcast called Hit Parade, which is like a music trivia podcast, right? So this guy like has a theme, and he's all about like history of the Billboard Top 100, right? So it's kind of framed around that. Anyway, so today was about Swedish pop like guy who basically has written like every pop song you've ever loved from the 90s and 2000s, Max Martin, right? So it's Britney Spears, it's Christina Aguilera, it's NSYNC, it's Backstreet Boys, it's Ace of Base, like all this stuff. So they do a big section about Ace of Base, right? And you know that All That She Wants is another baby song, right? All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, boy. All that she wants is another baby. Yeah. So great song, right? Like great first beat. You hear that opening, you're like, yeah. So I'm like listening, and they're like, yeah. So I'm like, unknowns to a lot of people, like this song is not about a woman like wanting a child. And I was like, what? So apparently, like, because of the writers, their English was like okay, but they really didn't get like kind of how like native speakers would say some things. So like when they would write lyrics to songs, like they kind of didn't use sometimes like what the best of English, let's say. So, and they also were like more interested in the music versus like really like what lyrics would make like kind of more poetry, let's say. Mm-hmm. And so they just like picked that, like they thought baby sounded better. Because really the song is like about a woman wanting another lover. Like a baby being like your lover. You know, you would call someone you're dating or something. Hey, she's my baby. He's my baby. But like what? So confusing. So here I am like my entire life thinking the song was like, okay, like she wants a baby and you don't want one. She's gone tomorrow, boy. All that she wants is a baby. No, she wants a lover. She wants a threesome. My mind was blown. And I just want everyone to know, if you didn't know that either, do not feel bad because that's really confusing. But now you know.
Now you know.
Listen to that podcast.
Yeah, good podcast. Okay. All right. Cool. Anyways, again, find us on Twitter at The Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Thank you, as always, for listening. Bye.
Another baby.
Yeah.